tujue what it what.
I say I don't trust Maraga because he knows. It's not a rumor. You don't just know somebody is corrupt one day. People knew Ahmed was corrupt for a very long time. They didn't tell us. We didn't know as clients.
Huyu ni Maraga wetu. Hata sikuwa nimeshika hapo. Huyu ni Maraga wetu wanakujia. What is happening?
I think even that's the reason why Bulimget, because he knows how to win cases.
Yeah.
And
advertised as so. Kumbe, he's there to rob you. He's not there to win you cases. He's there he does this PR. He's a PR machine. Like, oh, I fight for the small guy. I fight for justice.
But how do you expect a lawyer to be good? Si kazi yake ni kudanganyana. So sometimes we okay, wacha tusikie story.
That's my feeling.
Okay.
So my issue now is with Ahmed. Started with Ahmednasir Abdullahi. So my dad owns a company.
For those who
he's one
who
of
he is, I guess he is the anaitwa Grandmura, that Somali lawyer.
Director shareholders in this company. And in this company was his late mother. So it is my dad. My dad is called Daniel Mwangi Mbogwa. His brother is called Isaac Ishia Mbogwa. The third born son, Joseph Mbai Mbogwa, the fifth born son. And then there was my grandmother, Christine Medere Mbogwa. So the company is called Dunle Investments Limited, right? So my dad was one of those people. I've grown up in a family. I don't know if you know what it feels like to be the poor people in the family. We were the poor ones in the family and we could not understand why. So my grandfather bequeathed wealth to his 3 sons and my grandmother and put that wealth in a company. And company law doesn't work like your personal assets. There are procedures that you have to follow. Even if you want to open a bank account, you have to have signatories and stuff like that. So my dad has an eyesight problem. He's also unwell. So when they went to open the bank statement, he said, the bank account, he said, I have an eyesight problem and my mother is also unwell and she needs treatment. We'll give signing powers to 2 of the directors. Those 2 directors started selling assets. They put the money in the accounts. Then they're the ones who can control. My dad couldn't even get bank statements.
No. No. Even okay. That's okay. Okay, kabla ni judge, let's continue.
People sold assets worth hundreds of millions. My dad got 500,000 shillings. So I told my dad, because he finally explained to me after I was done with uni. This was like in 2015. He now came and showed me. And I told him, what is this company you're showing me? He showed me the land that it owns. I looked at him, I said, Bona sisi tumelala njaa. Umelewa? I said, why is it that we're the ones
I will look for that video, nani? Nitakwambia.
Slept hungry if you own all of this and it's in a company. He told me I'm the firstborn son, which means I'm their father, which means technically I can't talk about it, Kikuyu tradition. You keep quiet and you figure out how to deal with it internally. And my dad ended up being an alcoholic and he drank for 18 years of my life, trying to just suppress that information. And so when he gave me the documents, I told him, bro, I don't owe your brothers anything. I said, those are my uncles who are technically in tradition, my fathers as well. The fact that they thought I should not have school fees, me and my siblings should not have school fees or food or medical or even you, so they can go spend money in bars. I told them, what to peleka wa to court. So my grandmother was unwell and my dad said, I'm not going to take my mom to court. And understandably so. I think it's very difficult for any African to sue their parents. Heri mukosane, musionane, lakini kumpeleka kotini. I think it's unheard of. I've never heard of an African suing
No.
So
huku Kikuyu tunashinda kwa koti na watu. Okay, kweji ndo unheard of, but kashamba watu wanapiganianga kila wakati. So that's okay.
Confused, and I totally understood. So even me being educated was my mom. She got a job in the UN. She had to work in foreign countries for us to get an education. So I said, I don't think this makes sense. My dad said, he was so beaten down. Did you come on when I'm say hana hope?
Yes.
Yeah, hakuwa na hope. He even told me, let me give you my power of attorney, you do what you can. That's how he was sure he was not going to get anything out of the judicial system, out of lawyers. I told him, I said, vitu tumebadilika. We have a 2010 constitution. Things have changed in this country. So we hired a law firm first called Rachi and Amolo. And then we realized, hey, we paid these guys upfront walikuwa na cheza ku take our files to court. And then when the other side comes with Fala, they were not really saying much. They would allow it. So usually, like when and the other party wants to like delay the judge, your advocate would say, no, it's going to cost my client time and money. We don't have with the ones who have filed. If they have not filed documents, it's their problem, not ours. You know, because they're time frames. So instead of that, they were not listening to us. So a friend of mine introduced to me. She told me, I told her, hey, I'm really struggling because this is what's going on. I said, we don't have any money. All the money we had or managed to get, we've paid this law firm and hakuna mali tunaenda nao wase.
Okay. I'm yet to get the gist on it. That's why sitaki kucomment sana. But for guys who have watched it, what do you think? Kuna watu wanasema huyu madam ndio mwenye shida. She had 9 lawyers before that guy. Surely lawyers wote 10 ndio wako na shida. Sometimes, okay. I don't know. Imagine firstborn is a drain. There must be a reason. Kuna watu wabaya hii dunia. Kuna watu wabaya. So I won't judge. I won't be the person judging. I won't be the person
In fact,
judging.
they were not just supposed to deal with one case. They were supposed to deal with 3, and they never even bothered to file any appearance. So I said, here, we're not going to move. So my friend told me, I used to work at Ahmednasir Abdikader. So he said, I can vouch for Ahmed. He will actually take your case. He said, your dad is the one who's suffered. Yes. So she introduced me to a junior associate at his office. I think he was called Nick. That's when his office was in town.
Okay.
Which was like in 2019. So we sat down. I think this junior now gave our file to Ahmed. Ahmed said, oh, I've seen this case in the newspapers before. And he said, okay, I'm willing to take your case. What's going on? So he read the plaint. He said, it's very straightforward. There's not a lot of mchezo. It's my dad suing his brother saying, okay, our mom is not alive. I still own this company. What are the liabilities? What's going on in the bank accounts? What assets have you disposed of? Where are my titles? Like, I want my things, right? At least I have my kids now here to help me manage my things if I can't do it myself. And we thought what we're going was to enter a very straightforward process. Tumeenda kotini, tumelipa wakili, tutapatiwa haki. My guy. And again, that's why I tell you, my issue with Maraga is because there's a systematic issue that nobody wants to talk about. And I'm even sure talking about this, I can guarantee you all my cases in court will not move. But I'm done. I've been in this space for too long. I'm just like, kama ni vita. That's where we are right now. I'm just like, I'm not going to trust you with my sovereignty anymore.
I have nothing to comment on first. Acha kwanza tuelewe.
Because you can be bought. The same way we're talking about these politicians is what is happening in our judiciary, and it's not a joke. It's legitimately happening. So Ahmednasir, so we hired Ahmednasir. We had a hearing. So usually you get mentions. Mention is, have you complied with documents? Has the other side complied? And we used to go physically to all courts, all of them, present, so we can hear for ourselves what's happening. And lawyers, I don't know if people know this in Kenya, your lawyer is supposed to give you a brief every time they go to court on what happened. So we realized that if we were not paying attention and going to court, we'd not even be told. So like there's a time Ahmed went to court and said, I went to court and this and this and this. And we're just like, okay. So we called him and said, why did you go to court without not telling us? He said, you told me that you want this and this. I said, but we didn't tell you that we don't want to be in court. We hired you to be in court. So it seems like when you hire a lawyer, it's like case sasa yako inakuwa yao. They feel like they now own you. So now they're looking at the worth of what my dad is claiming. They're looking at the assets that his company has, and they're looking at he has no resources to fight. So how easy is it to take away this man's things? I mean, my uncles had already done it for over 30 years. So, you know, these guys, they have friends in the judiciary. They know each other. They're lawyers. They know people in lands. It's very easy. And I think the judiciary right now, I think is more dangerous than our politicians, if you ask me personally speaking.
Okay.
So
Okay.
As we are, so COVID happens, and Ahmednasir tells us hakuna case. There's no court. The courts had shut down, and it's true. The judiciary had given a notice that they are shutting down courts, and they even stopped receiving physical copies because they were now trying to deal with the e-filing system and go to digital. So in that time, I think COVID happened. I think ilikuwa hapo Jan Feb hapo, sindo. Now all these months, Ahmed was telling us, hakuna case. There's no court. We're still waiting to do COVID nene. And then a friend of mine tells me, I don't know what you're talking about. Courts are open. Because we had hired Ahmed not just to deal with my dad's matter, but several matters, because his siblings were now personally attacking me. I told you I got arrested. It was his siblings. So I said, okay, I want to sue these people. I want to sue the police. I want to sue DPP. There's a bunch of people I want to sue.
So there's someone who says here, Miano, there is a reason why elders, our forefathers' names, we retain and also determine the clan lineage and all their wives without respect. Watch in a family who are led by their sisters. And inheritance is quite tricky, guys. Huh? As someone who has benefited from inheritance, if people are not sober when it comes to inheritance, huh? if you're not sober, people can fight. I'm telling you, I have the best relationship with my mom. A very nice relationship. But if I was not careful, after my dad passed, tungekosana na madhe na ubaya sana. Yeah, if I was not careful. Because I realized this, as the only son, I was the person with the most to gain. And how I went with venye nilikanyanga, my steps would determine how our relationship would go. So it always depends with the person who has the most to gain, how ata handle their cases. And that's true, because someone is calling me. Just a minute.
Because my rights are being infringed on, and we're willing to pay you from the compensation that we get from this company because the money is there. So as we're busy thinking we're being represented and being told there's no courts, it's like the same way you take your car to a mechanic, you give him the car, you think he'll fix it, he'll bring it back fixed. But in reality, you don't know what's going on, and that's intentional. And even if you look at why they said Parliament had to be filmed, is because a lot of things happen in the darkness. When you ask why you still cannot film it in the judiciary, what are they hiding? Why can't you get your own transcripts from court? Why can't you get recordings from court? What are you hiding? So during COVID, this friend of mine I was telling you told me go and check in the court. So I went to the courts, and because
hapo kuna kakitu, but as I was saying, when it comes to family issues and resolving them, people with the most to gain ndo wanafaa kuwa na ujanja. And let me tell you something, what happens when you start fights with your family? You or your family members, we have the most rules, na hiyo pesa itagawanishwa huko kwa, na yes mtapata kakitu at the end of the day, but dunia itakula. Starting from the lawyers, all them, you shall spend a lot of money, na watu wa nje watakula. So if you start fighting among yourself, no, you won't benefit. So me one thing, my basic, my number one priority was make sure there is no fight. Make sure hakuna vita. No matter if there is any disagreement of an item, make sure that people are not fighting within themselves. Kama kuna vita, tunaisolve. We are four of us, my mom, my two sisters, and myself. Let's solve it. And as the person who with the most to gain, I had to bring, lazima ningeleta a sober, I had to go with a sober mind, knowing that everyone has their own interest, and knowing that I also have my own interest, but the family interest first. So what you are saying is good. Kuna venye naweza ongea kama hapa kuna mafeminist wanigonge.
knew the friends, their faces in court, because I used to go all the time with my dad. I said, hey, what's going on? He said, hey, long time, we've not seen you. I said, I heard you're closed. It's a guy called Mr. Otieno. It's very good. I'll tell you, the staff in the judiciary, amazing human beings. Like, if you tell them, I'm going to, like, I want you to funga e-file, 99% of them would say no.
Mr. Otieno is who?
Mr. Otieno is, he works at the judiciary in the commercial and tax division.
Okay,
He's a
okay.
court administrator. So we're looking for files, so we go here, good service. So he's very good at his job. I'll tell you, most of the staff in the judiciary, amazing human beings from my experience. And so he tells me, oh, your file is closed. So I looked at him and I was like, what do you mean my file is closed? He says, oh, there's even a court order here. I told him, can you print that court order out? He printed it out and I nearly fainted. It was Ahmed. So the other party had given my dad a proposal for settlement, which we declined. They said, let's distribute the assets. Let's wind down the company. Let's accept liabilities. All of this stuff. We said, no, we want to know, first of all, what you have been doing with the money for this company for the last couple of years. So if we're going to distribute the assets, we know what you're not getting because we want our compensation. And legally, we should be compensated.
Yes.
So he went, and that consent was not drafted by us, and my dad was a plaintiff. It was drafted by the other advocates, and it was signed by our lawyer, Ahmednasir, another lawyer called Caroline Munyasia, who had, by the way, no clients. Hakuwa na clients kwa suit. Alikuwa na represent Phantoms and Ghosts.
If that's true, hapo walimcheza. If that's what your client wants, first of all, that you should not even. You have no right to work to say yes or on behalf of your client until you rely. Hata mkienda kwa koti, client aseme ana plead guilty, you have no right. Your only position as a lawyer is to advise them, but not act on them unless wako disabled. So hapo kama that's true, hapo Gradmura alikosea na ubaya sana.
And another lawyer called Wanja Wambogo,
yeah,
who was also conflicted because she used to represent my dad before. So we are trying to understand. So you're looking at this consent, and it has been adopted as an order of the court. Kampuni imeenda, assets zimeenda, liabilities have been accepted, and they have even gone so far to distribute the estate of the deceased, because my grandmother is a 25% shareholder. She's not alive. Na hana assets, there's no administration letters. This was done by 3 lawyers and a judge. And you're just like, what is the point of having all of these laws and the constitution if you're just going to come because you think you're somebody big in society, sign and take it to court? And if we did not know, how many other people are in court right now under the same circumstances?
Yeah, that's hiyo kama hivyo ndo kulienda, wamemkosea big time. Hiyo wamemkosea big time.
We found a case where the same company, my dad's company, was suing one of our relatives to take their home, and we didn't know. And that person didn't know. They were sued ex parte. So when I'm telling you there's a serious issue in the judiciary, how can you sue somebody ex parte, collect their house, get it transferred to you, and they don't know? Simply by you lying and saying, yeah, no, I served them, or they are aware. So for me, I'm just like, there are too many issues and loopholes.
So hii story yenyu hujaimaliza. So now
Hata
what
mimi
happened? So now
bado sijaielewa.
dad can't get any compensation. Like what happened?
So basically, usually if you get court orders, you think you have like 14 days to appeal. But see, they went and lied on our behalf, saying to be partisan and complacent. And I think my dad is not incompetent to do not sign his own documents. I have my dad's power of attorney, so if there's anybody signing, it's me or my dad. There's not a single signature of anybody that owns anything in that company on that court order. How?
Yeah, that should not happen.
So sasa, if things stay the way they are, munapata 0.
As it is, yes. So in fact, it gets worse. It doesn't get better from this point forward. So we confronted Ahmed about it, and then he fired himself. He terminated himself. So basically, ile shamba he went to gawanisha for my dad is like everything that is not prime. Umeniget? Like kuna shamba amepatiwa kwa kichaka. In fact, there are no roads to even enter. And you're just like, why would anybody rational agree?
Where is this other land?
So we have land in Kiambu, we have land in Laikipia, and we have land also in Karen. And like, for example, Karen, you cannot distribute, like you can't subdivide land. You have to own at least an acre. You can't share it between 3 people or 4. So the things that they did, like even we have some apartments.
Kama if you can't own as I was saying, there was flooding somewhere, I know, there you can't own less than half an acre. So in such a case, and you have to divide, hiyo shamba lazima iuzwe. hiyo inanga option A ama B, or the mwenye atapata hiyo shamba compensate the others financially, or the other people to get equal financial value from the other assets kwanza before hata huyu mwingine apate anything extra. So yeah, and that makes sense. Okay, sikuwa nimeona hiyo. I had watched up to the 6 minutes, so let's see whether
hizo apartments
my opinion
walisema ni 25, kwa ground ni 38. Na wanasema it's going to be equally distributed. My dad will get 4, somebody who's not in his company will get 25. What happens to the other 9 apartments that have not been listed? Is it 9? 38? What happens to those other ones? Because they're physically built on the ground. So you're looking like, okay, so also what was the ELC for? Because I think when the Constitution, it specifically created Environmental and Land Court. Why? Because of all of this rubbish that used to happen in other courtrooms before. So you find people like Ahmed who understood how the system used to work, even the current judges in Moi's time. Yeah. They have been given an opportunity to change it, and they have decided to do exactly what our current politicians are doing, to become the system. Ruto was complaining he's not the system. When he got the power, he just wanted to be exactly like Uhuru and Ruto and Raila. Everybody just wants that power. And I think that's the issue that we have, right? So we have handed this democratic system, and then we wrote to the deputy registrar, and we told the deputy registrar, we don't know who is in that consent. One of those parties is claiming that 3 parties are in our suit who are not. You have given them my dad's property. He wants to know how they have got. Strangers have been gawanishwa shambake, nemegawanishwa je na wakili. Yeah.
So far Kenya nasikiza, I know we are 15 minutes in, but I think she knows her stuff. Yeah, so far I think she's self-aware, and everything that she's saying, if that's what was happening, ama Kenya, yeah, if
how?
it's true,
this is a company. A company is a whole other entity from an individual. So after we wrote to the DR, he terminated his services. We agreed that he should be fired. We're just like, obviously, there's nothing we're discussing with you from this point forward. So we were dealing with a law firm called Walker Contis at the time, who are now dealing with my grandmother's succession. So her succession links to this 25% in this company. We told them, hey, you guys need to do something and tell the courts that this thing is also going to affect succession, because we're still waiting for confirmation of grant from that one. They didn't do anything. So at this point in time, this happened, I think we found out they signed that consent 20th September 2020. We found out 11th of November 2020. And then, so we terminated the services. We hired a guy actually before Wakakundu called Eskionzo.
Do you know most of these things you can do yourself? Zenye anasema hired. Huh? Do you know you can, shida ni unaweza changanikiwa, especially if you're not self-aware, but she seems to be self-aware. Most of these things you can do yourself. Huh? Shida ni venye tunapenda kutumia lawyers, and these lawyers comes with a cost. Huh? Most of these things, especially if you're wow.
And we told Eskionzo and Wakakontos to work together. We said, you guys need to work together and inform the courts what's going on. Kionzo now, again, why I tell you I don't trust the judiciary and this fraternity that they call themselves.
I will.
They're not a fraternity. Kionzo now went, we gave him all the evidence. If you saw what you know how unaweza patia mtu clean copy of like communication of termination of services, and then these old photocopies where you can't see anything. All the evidence we gave him, he put in nicely, apart from the correspondence that we had of why we're firing Ahmed. And we're just like, what are you doing? Why are you protecting this guy? We have come to you as a lawyer. You should be able to put down your friendship barrier and be like, my client has a problem. It might be another lawyer who is my friend. Let me deal with my client problem. But that's not what happens in Kenya. They'll call each other and say, yo, nimeona hii nse, ukasema fanya hivi.
Hiyo ni ukweli. Hiyo layo hapo siwezi tetea lawyers. Hiyo ni ukweli. That's very true. No matter what, that's okay. So far I'm on the ready side. If what she is saying is the truth, niko kwake. Okay.
So that's what happened. So then we got rid of Kionzo. We told Kionzo, we have already dealt with this. We're not going to deal with this situation again. So Kionzo terminates. He goes to court. But that time we still didn't know how court links were operating online. He goes to court, fires himself. So the judge is just like, he's saying, oh, we can't work with them, they're unreasonable. We're just like, what is unreasonable about us telling you to put in clear evidence as your client? When we are saying we have been affected this way financially, why are you refusing to put in our financial claim? See, we're the ones who are affected. Mbona unakataa? Kama judge hataki.
Maybe, you know, a lawyer should just represent you with your wants, even if they're absurd, unless zikataliwe na judge. I'm wrong, guys. So if this is what was happening, then there must be something. Yeah, I will speak about the container houses. You can ask any question what you want to know about container houses, or you have a video or something you wanted to ask. Yeah, talk to me, and I can speak on them somewhere.
Evidence, the judge atatoa evidence. They'll say this is inadmissible. But you as our lawyer should not be a barrier to getting our information heard. You know, and luckily at that time, because I went to before that I'd gone to Madare. I used to go to before COVID to listen to some activists speaking about what's going on the ground, and I met Willy Mutunga. Very luckily for me, it was like by mistake, you know, when you go in by chance. So this is exactly when this story for Ahmed had happened, and my friend told me, "Don't talk to Willy. Willy and Ahmed were friends. Don't talk to Willy about Ahmed." So what I did is I tried to talk to Willy Mutunga about the judicial system. I said, unajua kama it's your boy, siwezi kuja nikuambie story zake sababu utasikia. So I said, let me just try and talk to him about what's going on in the judicial system. So we tried. So we hired Kionzo, terminated himself. Walker Kontos came. So in courts, so the reason I touched on Willy Mutunga is because I want to relate to how I'm self-representing in court right now. So this guy, Kionzo, terminated himself, and then Walker Kontos came on record. And so Walker Kontos, we found a lot of also, they were doing what Rachena Molo did, a lot of delaying tactics. And at this time, when
So for those kuna mtu anasema hapa kuna ulikuwa umesema hapa ni Rackson Omari had said huyo madam ndio mwenye shida. She had 9 lawyers before Ahmednasir. Surely lawyers wote 10 ndio wako na shida. But we have a judicial problem, like our political problem. Like, let's assume our problems, our politicians. Okay, first of all, tuko na shida si wenyewe because we give these politicians the opportunity to work for us. But if there is ways these people work, that is the problem. And for kama if you call something out, definitely what withdraw. And you can hear if it's true they were the ones who are withdrawing, it means that ndo wako na shida. It's that they are not meeting the client's expectations, and the expectations of the clients are too high, and it's a right according to the constitution. Your expectations should be very high, very high, by the way. So he aspect, yeah, I think I'm so far sai bado niko 50-50, but I'm leaning towards the ready. Acha tuendelee.
when they're delaying, my uncles now walikuwa wameshikilia shamba wameuza for another couple of hundreds of millions. So you can imagine we're already negative. And then these people are delaying your justice so you can continue being negative.
So is it delays?
Yes.
And wacha niweke disclaimer. It's not equal views, but I have to ask the questions.
Yeah.
Why do you think these delays are there? Is it that the family ends up working with the lawyers?
Yes.
And these are the lawyers who are supposed to represent you, but they end
Yes.
up working with the family.
Correct.
Or because the family has money, but nyinyi mnatafuta pesa.
Correct.
Okay.
So you find out that you're already being sold. So imagine you're a victim and you just keep being victimized, right? So we go to Walker Kontos, we tell them, these are the issues I've had with Kalonzo. We even shared the communication. We said, we told you guys to coordinate, to speak to each other, to get us in court so you can explain to the judge, because the judge could have done something called a stay. I guess imamisha your action, not even 6 months after it had been done. but wakaona opportunity wakule pamoja. So at that time, this is in 2021, me I thought, for real, this is just, lawyers are just dirty. This has nothing to do with the judges. So we finally got we wrote to Wakakonto. So there's something called a jurat. So a jurat is now a sworn affidavit. So when you're putting in a document in court, you're signing the sworn affidavit with the jurat, and you say, oh, okay, so this is what I'm alleging. This is the evidence. Here's the sworn affidavit. It's supposed to be commissioned by Commission of Oaths. So we had, I think, you have to serve at least 3 days before court so that they don't give the other side a mentioned date. Na sisi tumeshika rada. If you're served the day before or you respond the day before, the other side will ask for time and they'll be given at least 3 months.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay.
So we're just like, hey, if we don't serve these documents by this date, these guys will be given more time. So I told my dad, just sign the jurat, we pelek it to Okakontos, they will give us they'll give us the new pleadings as a per instructions, because we wrote down the instructions as well. We made sure it was stamped. Everything was stamped and received by them. Do you know when we went to court now, this was 2021, walikuwa wamebadilisha pages zote, tuliagana na wao, wakeka nyuma. So we went and had several meetings with them because you only sign one page, the last page, the jurat. That's the one that is commissioned. So everything else you don't sign. You know, since that day till today, we sign all our documents on all pages, all hand signed, and we write the pages by hand, because we're just like, are you telling me that I can talk to you and then you can decide that you don't want to convey my truth to the judge and you will change my application? So what does that look like to the judge also? Like we're not being serious. Umeniget? So wanatucheza hakili sisi wote. And me, I told my dad, I actually remember I went into depression. I was drinking a lot, partying a lot. I just didn't want to be alive at that particular point in time. It is like 30 years. And then when you think you get to the finish line, you meet more monsters, you know?
Na kesi za shaba by the way zinaweza enda lifetime. I know of a family friend wamekuwa kwa kesi ya shamba from 1991 to today. There was my dad used to do this. My dad nilikuwa napenda njaro yake, akiona mmeingia kwa koti amepoteza mashamba mingi sana and he was alive. Even the place where he wanted to build his home alichezwa kabaya ikapotelea hivyo. So especially that portion of land niliona aliachilianga the moment waliingia kwa koti, akasema instead of wasting my time fighting this, acha ni hiyo time nitapoteza kutafuta hiyo, acha niende nitafute pesa ninunue ingine. And it was a very prime portion of land. So sometimes there are hard issues. You lose your time, you lose your money, your strength, unasikia mpaka huyu ameingia kwa depression because now you are just imagining hii shamba ni worth 50, kama sasa hao wenye wanasema currency sijui nini, hii shamba iko worth 50M 20M. Unapiga kandi zako hapa hapa nimetoka broke ikikam, so tumetoka broke, all our problems are done, and then kesi inadelaiwa, and then there are so many tactics lawyers use. Even si lazima ikuwe ni, perhaps even the lawyers wana avoid all those tactics, wanataka hii kesi ishe because they know sometimes we can give the lawyers some grace. Lawyers the 10 lawyers amepata some grace because they know hard cases can take a lifetime, literally. Literally they can take a lifetime. Kuna shamba ya home mpaka wa leo haijaisha kesi since 2003, mpaka wa leo haijaisha kesi. You can imagine all that na sidhani inaisha anytime soon because there is only watu, kuna kila mtu anataka share yake. Issues about land, if you nasikia mnaenda kwa koti, before ukanyange hiyo koti, before ujipige kifua, just know this, lawyers will eat more than you gain, and just avoid mambo ya lawsuit. I understand her, she is very pained, amekula shida maisha yake yote, anaona watu wao kuna pesa. I understand her, and I understand that she wants justice for her dad and herself, but to get that justice she will have lost half the value of the properties through lawyer fees and all that. Hata succession, do you know even succession, because it's especially if you're not twice, succession is not expensive, but if you're not twice, go hire lawyers na nini, unajipatanga umepoteza tuseme mko na 5 acres, unajipatanga umepoteza kanusu. Survey, nowadays even surveyors are doing successions. Unapata wanaingisha ka crowds hapo. Sasa mimi sitaki pesa because hamna pesa mingi, na hii kitu ni pesa mingi kufanya succession. But if you are in agreement, succession is not expensive if you are all in agreement. Yes, kuna fees, kuna nini, but there are not many fees. And these are things that if you are wise, na venye huyu dem amefanya. Okay, I know hers is very different, but I'm saying this, please, if you have blood issues, try to sort them out on paper pamoja nyinyi wenyewe. Don't take it to the lawyers. Msikubali. Msikubali. And if you are going to a lawyer to because there are documents that you need a lawyer to sign for you, agreement forms, there are so many forms when you're doing succession that you need a lawyer and a survey. For you, just go, get the service, sign, toka. And those services are 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 max. You see? I've done a very good video about succession where I've explained each and every detail. You can go find Muthii succession. I've done a very detailed video from the first step to the last step about succession. Go and look for it. Itakusaidia sana. Itakusaidia sana. These things are not expensive. Sometimes you may think it's something way hard, but her case is quite different. I understand this. I bet she's Gen Z or something, or a mix of Gen Z and millennial. And if you have dealt with these people, to Gen Z ni tubaya if she is one. They know wanajipiganga kifua sana. You can see anachunguza sana. So their expectations are so high, going by the standards tumezoea sisi wa Kenya. Now the standards are so low. So that's where I see the lawyers wenye nimesikia ameongea juu yao, that's where the miscommunication so far according to her story, hapo ndo shida inaingia, friction inakuja, her expectations are so high and the what she's getting and what tumezoea, the bar is so low. You see? So that's
So somebody told me write to GSC and write to the courts, file an application, all of this stuff. So again, that's why I was telling you about Willy Mutunga. Willy Mutunga told me verbatim that the reason they put in the civil procedure order 9 rule 1 and 2 and I think 3 allow you to self-represent because of those things, right? Article 22 also gives you the right, which obviously trumps civil procedure, the right to act on your behalf or anybody else's behalf. And the reason they put that in is because they know. They knew that people used to lose their assets like this and people did not have an opportunity to speak in court. Again, this is how the Rigathi case came into play. Laymen, people from Kawaida, can go and speak to the courts because they hoped, if I come and tell you the truth, if I'm given an opportunity to tell you, then you can do something about it. But we have not yet gotten to that evolution yet. So that's why I say I don't trust Maraga, because he knows. It's not a rumor. You don't just know somebody is corrupt one day. People knew Ahmed was corrupt for a very long time. They didn't tell us. We didn't know as clients. Sisi ndo tulikuwa max.
No. Sasa hapo usiingililie Maraga. It's not his work. It's not his work to tell you a lawyer is corrupt. Judges even knows lawyers are representing murderers. Then they can't speak. Hiyo kazi yake ni kutenganisha kesi. So you put in usiguze mtu wangu bana. So that's not hapana, hapo nitakatana na yeye. That's not Maraga's work to tell you or not tell you. You chose hajui kwenye mmetoana. You and your lawyer hamjui kwenye mmetoana. And it's not his work even to speak ama to distinguish, as long as the lawyer still has their papers and works, hajachujwa from the Royal Society ama bado ako na barua yake na imepitishwa, he has a right to represent anyone. And as long as umempatia hiyo power, si kazi ya judge ama CJ kutenganisha. So that's hapo msichana umekosea.
So Supreme Court, I've not said that. It's
Mimi-
those are not the views of Ikonini. Let's not meet in the Supreme Court because of that.
Mimi.
So ekonene. So kwa US mnatry kutuma do Kenya, tumia Lemfi. Lemfi number 1
Okay.
kupatiaga the best exchange rates. Alafu on your first $100 ilonatuma, unabaki umepata $20 cashback. Alafu ukitumia the referral code Ikonene, si wenyewe pia tunapata $20. So end up umesupport Ikonene ndio tukue na better lighting. Check it. Sasa hivi unaona unzaniona. The last time we do ya day Lemfi ulikuwa unaniona hivi. Was I this clear? And this is because of the other people who supported walitumia ile promo code Ikonene ya Lemfi. So baki umechangamka, ingia Lemfi. Alafu saizi pia kitu poa, si lazima ubaki umeload wallet yako. Unaweza baki umeshikanisha debit card yako na Lemfi, so kituma do ni instant. Ikienda kule inaenda. Alafu kama kawaida pia kuna zero transfer fees, $20 cashback, una support Ikonene. Alafu pia vile musemaga jo, Lemfi international payments for everyone. He's a
Yeah.
street lawyer. He's going to win new cases.
Really.
Know about the fake pupillage. He's been accused of that, and he's been accused of the corruption thing. But
Yep.
I know about the fake pupillage. He's been accused of that, and he's been accused of not being like a competent lawyer. Najua, like he's a
Yeah.
street lawyer. He's going to win new cases. I think even that's the reason why William get, because he knows how to win cases.
Yeah.
And
Advertised as so. Kumbe, he's there to rob you. He's not there to win your cases. He's there to, he does this PR. He's a PR machine. Like,
kuna huyu Ruya anaitangwa Dunston Omari. You know him, eh? Hata nilisikia ni mtu wa PR. Any big case lazima atokeleze. Umemsikia? And his track record is very poor. Have you heard of him? Nilisikia kitu kama hiyo. Kuna watu wanajua kujipatia PR na si mbaya.
oh, I fight for the small guy. I fight for justice. He's a PR guy. I fight for the small guy. I fight for justice. I fight for the small people. No, he wants people like us who have been suffering, who have no hope. Umeniget? Ndo waende wamalize huko mwisho. And there's nothing you can do. And true to the word, if they're not ushered in that 2010 constitution and civil procedure order 9 rule 2 and 1, we would not have gone to court to tell the judges this.
So Marilyn Moram, using shipping containers for creating a home for sure when done creatively can create a beautiful home design since they are highly customizable. But are they cost effective compared to pre-custom? I will come to that. Let's first tumalize hii topic. Once I come to that, give me about 15 minutes. I'm almost done with this video.
Yes.
So guess what? So now we spent the whole of 2023, 2022 and 2023. Actually 2023 because 2022 mi nilikuwa nimechukua beating, nilikuwa nimekuwa defeated, nilikuwa down. I said, sawa, it is what it is. I said, but the good, I said, whatever they've done. By the way, that judge was called Wilfrida Okwanyi. She moved our ruling 7 times. And at the end of it, she said, your lawyer has not committed fraud. So you tell me, if I am coming to tell you, I didn't sign those documents, and you can see I didn't sign. And I can show you proof also that I didn't give my advocate instructions to sign my documents. How can you tell me he has not committed fraud? So then we realized these people are protecting each other. So ni kama sisi wa Kenya ni target.
I told you the bar is too low, especially in our government. Government has many hands: the executive, the parliament, whatever wanajitanga, na pia the judiciary. Yeah, the bars are too low. So this is I will tend to believe her. Nitamwamini mimi because I know the bars are too low and high expectations are also too high.
Get kukona makapo tumsete aje. So you will call your boy, hey, tufanye hivi nini. So they have to, the process is you have to create, and I think people saw it in Rigathi Gachagua, it has to look like it's fair. You have to, the optics. No, and it says something in the Constitution. Justice has to be seen to be done. Like, tudanganye kidogo munafanya kitu. But in reality, this is how they bypass all the processes and bureaucracy. This is how you're stealing our time. We have a bunch of neo-colonialists in politics in the judiciary. You're stealing our time. Why am I in court for 20 years when somebody like Rigathi in 2 weeks? Why can't I get 2 weeks also? Why can't every other Kenyan? And you would find that a lot of things are moving. So what is going on? Tunashikiliwa na nini? You know?
I think that's a good question. Why do that cases take all that time? Whereas kuimpeach vice president ilichukua wiki mbili. Good question. That's why nakwambia I will tend to believe her more. I'm on her side more for me. Wacha tumalize video, but up to this moment hajanipatia any reason not to believe her.
So kesi yako sasa iko wapi?
So now I've started representing my dad. We filed documents in court. In court, we got a ruling last year, 24th of May, 2024. And the judge was saying, you, as somebody who has power of attorney, despite what the law says, you should ask me for permission first. So we're appealing that decision because we went and filed our own documents. We said from 2019, when this lawyer called Caroline Munyasea has been participating in court, we want everything struck out. Because Caroline filed an application for her clients to be put in the suit. Daniel sued 3 people. Somehow there are 6. How did that happen? Because there has to be a ruling. So we have told the Court of Appeal, we want you guys to look at what has been going on in this case file. And I will tell you also there, there's a lot of umama, let me just call it that, going on. There's a lot of dirty games that are still being played in the background. And I can also understand for sure that, as you have said, some information doesn't get where it needs to go. But for me, from my limited understanding, I know that these people all know each other and they know what they're doing and they know what's going on. Why are you not exposing this situation if you are pro-Kenyan and you're pro-democracy and you're pro-constitution and you're pro-life? Why are you not exposing these stories? Because people need to actually get out of this cycle. And so Ahmed now, nilikwambia sign all my dad's properties to go. Do you know he then went and filed a case in Kiambu claiming all of those properties as his?
Who?
Anataka malipo. Anataka kulipwa.
Ahmednasir.
Property za
hizo aligawanishia babangu. Alienda kusign, hakuwa na jali. Kama if it's he didn't care if it is by the roadside, if it's prime, he didn't care. He just said, yeah, just give them. So basically he signed to what the defendant wanted. He did nothing that we wanted. Na mi nilikuwa nauliza babangu, mbona amefanya kitu hivi? Kuko na kitu ana target. He then went and filed in 2023 a lawsuit in Kiambu local courts claiming everything he had signed to go to my dad. He said he should be paid his fees. And then when we go to enter appearance in Kiambu law courts, we find another defendant who's not us. Sasa unashanga. One, you've already robbed us. You've cost us time. You've cost us money. We have not received justice over the last couple of years, despite coming to you who advertise yourself as a white savior and knight for suffering Kenyans.
Okay.
And then you're going to go do that illegal consent, take it to another court, hire somebody to be the defendant, so we can't even defend ourselves in that courtroom to claim all the assets you've taken. And I'm just like, okay. Because I went to Kiambu myself to be mapped into that matter. I had to present them with my dad's power of attorney. I had to be there physically and I had to give him my ID. So nikawauliza, msee ni nani? Tukapata namba yake, nikaenda kwa Kiambu police station, nika-report pia to the judicial ombudsman. This is where again Willy Mutunga comes in. Willy Mutunga is the one who told me, I didn't tell him all these other things that were going on. I told him, I'm having an issue with system interference. He said, go talk to a guy called Kennedy Bidali, who's a judicial ombudsman. When we went and raised complaints with the judicial ombudsman, the same thing that happened with Advocates Complaint Commission. I will not say Law Society of Kenya because Law Society of Kenya told us, send it to Advocates Complaint Commission. So them it's like, when I say, no, you let those guys deal with it. So I again, I'm neither here nor there. So Advocates Complaint Commission and Ombudsman were now telling us another story.
Guys, wenye wameona hii story, I think I get the gist. Tutaimaliza, but so far my opinion still stands. She expected so much from her lawyers, and the bar was set so high because Grad Mura, all those people. But bar yetu as Kenyans is too low. and these lawyers knows that so that's why unaona, so he argument that ameenda kwa lawyers wengi, no. And if it's true what she says that the lawyers withdrew, no walikuwa na withdraw, that means that kuna kashida. Si alikuwa anawachuja wengi na wengine ni kujichuja. Okay, ni anawachuja because now they are not meeting her expectations. So up to this moment I'm for her. Hajanipatia bad reason. What do you think guys when wameona hii kitu?
We wrote to them and told them this is specifically what we're complaining about. Why are you telling us another story?
What's the other story?
They were telling us that no, you guys are not the ones who are, you're not the ones understanding. Your lawyer did not commit fraud. The judge said your lawyer didn't commit fraud. So I said, kwani the fraud has been committed against you? It's us. Sini sisi who agreed. Sini sisi tunakuambia. So how can you say it didn't happen? I said it happened. Are you going to investigate Ahmednasir? No. There's nothing to investigate. Judicial ombudsman, there's no misconduct from the judge. I said there's no misconduct. Does the judge not know who the parties in a case are? See, they're listed. So the judge doesn't know that we did not sue those other people. So we are the plaintiff. Their names have never been in the pleadings. So judge hakujua. So you're just like, okay. So Ikitu is, we removed the power from Moi. We gave it to the legislator, to the executive, to the judiciary. And none of them are accountable or can be held to the law.
It's a chain. It's a chain, and they are all together in this. So the judge can't comprehend Gradmura because they are either they are workmates ama wanaweza saidiana pahali because they are they are colleagues basically in law. Wewe you are the new part. Wewe sasa you as the client are the person, unajua wataendelea kurelate with other cases, but you as the client, you are the new party here. So unless we get people who really want to change Kenya and offer who are for Kenyans, I guess these problems will continue to exist, and there are so many problems in our judicial system because judge anajua yule lawyer ni mchota sijasema nani ndo anafanya hivyo. So the judge knows this is what happens, this is how we work, and this is how we relate. Tukiachana hapa, sitaipatana na huyu dem kama client, but Gradmura tutapatana in my social circles, in every other circles that I meet. I go, this is the person I be meeting. So I will tend to favor him more than you, the client. And that's true. And this is a good case to show you how rotten our system is. Our system is so rotten. Kabisa.
Doesn't matter. So we need to ask ourselves as Kenyans, number one, do we really need an opposition? And I think the answer is no.
Yes.
I think Kenyans should always be the opposition. Because if Kenyans are always the opposition, these people will not be doing these things. Huwezi kutudanganya kuna justice na munajua ukora inafanyika kotini. Right now we could be sitting here talking, you own a car, somebody has gone to write a false claim, another lawyer is pretending to defend you, and they can own your vehicle. No, nakid too, you're nowhere in that story. How can that honestly be a legal process in this day and age? Hatuna democracy. That's how I feel.
So hii land yenyu ya Kiambu saizi, so are you still in court with Ahmednasir about the land? Ama
Yes, we are.
na ni land yenyu?
Yes, we are.
But he's saying it's his.
He is now saying he did his work well. We are the ones who didn't agree. He needs to be paid 200 million. We're just like, why would we pay you 200 million for you to undo any chance we had of justice? You know? What are we paying you for? Because you committed fraud against us. We're not happy. Yeah? And if we were happy, we even told him, can you produce to us the instructions we gave you to go do that in court? Show us when we agreed to any of these things that you're saying. So that if you agreed enyewe, we can say enyewe, Ahmed did this
and before you sign anything with lawyers or even the lawyer before mkubaliane represent, please I beg everyone, before you go and ask for any lawyer to represent you, they are very clever and they have very many. Siku hizi kuna ChatGPT, you can unaona kuna ChatGPT nowadays, it's easier, si kama zamani. You can take those the hiyo order yenye mnapatiana ama agreement yenye mna form, the payment agreements. Always make sure that you have a payment agreement on what the lawyer should expect, and before you sign anything, scan that document, put it on ChatGPT, tell it to analyze it for you like a 10-year-old ama 5-year-old, ikuelezee vizuri the whole document, because what is happening ni pure extortion. And trust you me, some of the judges are even in it if you are not careful. Some of the judges are even in it because it's a cartel where sasa hapa ni kunaona. In Kenya, 99% of workers in the government, that is the judiciary, legislature and the executive, kazi yao inakuanga kuamka kujua venye watatajirika 99% of the time, and this is evident. So mambo ya roya na nini nowadays, I'm happy we have good people, but hey, watu
These people, they're okay. Kuko na shamba babangu alipatiwa Kiambu. Unajua ni swamp. Marshland. What can you do on marshland? So his brothers have prime land on the tarmac. Ye ameweka kwa kichaka. Ni maji.
But sasa now Ahmednasir owns that also.
Now he's trying to claim that as his. He's saying he wants all of it. All of the things that he signed for, it belong to him. And I'm just like, bro, hizi ndio vitu zinaendanga.
Na saizi as things stand, nani kuna documents hizo vitu yeye?
No, my uncle still have the documents, the other directors, who we were suing. Because we said we want our documents, we want copies, we want to know what's going on. That's what we were suing them for. Him, he just went and said nothing. And again, you know, if he was doing that for our benefit.
Let me read some of these comments. The lawyer is extorting her and her father. That's true. That's pure extortion. Yeah, that's true, Atticus. So ChatGPT will not help since they make you feel you're in safe hands and they know what they are doing. Doctors do the same thing, but dawa they tell you need to go for surgery. TC. Yeah, true. But before me nowadays, I know I signed a very good contract with a good company. And kila wakati nilikuwa naambia, if I ever raised an issue, I was always told, check your contract. Any issue I ever raised with that company, check your contract. Nikiangalia contract, there is something saying that. I'm just telling you this, before you put pen to paper on anything nowadays, hata hiyo surgery, whatever you are going to do, you know, by sickness is quite different, because nayo sickness unajua unakuanga kuna time my wife was really sick, na saa hiyo all you need ni apone, so you can do literally anything. Kenye unaambia ndo unafanya and unazunguka. So for such a case, sickness emotions are very different, but for such a case, just make sure you understand what you are signing ama who you are dealing with. Even if you are taking a loan, understand the fine print. Understand what the bank is going to take 100%. Understand what you're going to achieve, because sometimes unachukuanga loan nowadays, there are sometimes you go take a loan expecting to get let's assume you are going to get a 1 million loan. Sometimes ukiexpect kupata hiyo 1 million unapata imekatwa zile insurance fee na nini hauku unajua you expected 1 million umepata 950. What will you do? Or you expect upatiwe hiyo 1 million, but sasa ile loan unalipia interest ni 1 million and something because of these things. So all these things, as I'm saying, please understand what you're getting into. Contracts, don't just sign anything. Mi hakuna contract sisomangi mara 2-3. No contract I don't reread 2 to 3 times. Na nikikosa understand, nowadays we have the phone, the power of the phone. I scan it easily. I just scan it, tuma kwa ChatGPT na iambia make me understand this document. Kwanza naimtumianga that phrase penye sielewi, make me understand this phrase like a 5-year-old ama a 10-year-old. Nangojea 10-year-old ndo inakupatianga proper results, inanieleza So sorry, my camera just went off. Just a minute. It's my camera that went off. Unajua hii lazima nishinde nikicheza nayo. Sorry for that. So as I was saying, you have to understand it. Now, and sorry to say this, our country is pure of evil people. tuko na mashida mingi sana, and this is what we want to clean the rot lakini huyu madam ameingililia mbana my presidential Maraga ameingililiwa. Hii ilikuanga kwanga na bahati mbaya ama ni aje kama mistaken identity but you understand where I'm coming from. Yeah, thank you. So let's continue. Yeah, thank you sir.
Benefits would be happy. But when you're literally setting up your client to fail so you can steal from them whatever they have left, it's like, how do you expect people to have hope in this country?
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kojo. I don't think there's anything to add to this. Like, damn. Like, I always tell people, I always hear people saying, I'm going to sue you, I'm going to sue you. I always tell them, the judiciary is ish. It's ish. Because there's no way the executive can be rotten. The legislative arm is rotten. Alafu ikue the judiciary is perfect. It has to be rotten to a certain level for it to coexist with these two other arms. Najua?
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised. Of course, these are not my views. So now, Saizi, you don't trust lawyers, kabisa. You'll just always represent yourself.
Not even just lawyers, because we're in court of appeal, and so we filed our appeal in December. No, in September last year, 2024. So we filed our appeal. So when we filed our appeal, I didn't know, because I'm a layman, I'm still learning, the law and stuff like that. A friend of mine said, you have to file the appeal and the application together. But the judiciary keep changing the things on the CTS system to also make it easy for them to give judgment.
And you know these problems are also in the construction industry. That's why people are opting to build themselves, because ukichukua an architect ama a QS ama some professional akujenge anakugonga. It's a problem that it's so rotten that ina affect everywhere. Ina affect kila mtu. Where kila mtu anafikiria how to take advantage of each other. Everyone. Si ati ni shida tu ya the role part, ni almost every profession. Kila mtu anataka kukulia.
So you have to file an appeal, which is the main appeal, which is we want everything struck out because we were not part of that. We have shown, we have proved. Tell us who these other people are when they entered our suit, because we are suing. We should know who we are suing, And if they want to be sued, then formally put them on record. We sue them. Hakuna shida. Lakini mwezi sema na word of mouth ati muko parties, So that's what is pending. So we got an email in February saying that we're going to get some information on how to file our appeal. We filed our submissions. But this is where it gets interesting, the CTS system again. I kept getting messages last year around June, at 1 a.m., 2 a.m. I can show you. I'll send you the communication that we sent to the president of the Court of Appeal. Kukona mutu ni Sunday, 3 a.m. and I suma message, your appeal has been rejected. So me, I'm just like, Allah, come and see the DR until your appeal has been rejected. So me, I'm just like, but I haven't appealed. This is June. You're given, I think, it is 60 days to file your appeal. But then that's also dependent on how fast you get your documents from the court.
Guys, this is so true. Ni all the professional careers, doctor, lawyers, mpaka surveyors. Kwanza but surveyors kusiwa na guria na tuburoti. So those are the people who are now subdividing these prime properties in Central. Surveyors wanakula sana. Look, and unafaa kuangalia their lifestyle. It will tell you. Na polisi katikati kutumiwa vibaya, wanakula both sides. Yeah. Signing an agreement juzi, au signing an agreement somewhere. Polisi anataka pesa yake, Roy obvious anataka yake, hiyo ilikuwa outright, but you can kukula tu pote, and then
so they can give you like a certificate of delay. You have another 10 days, 5 days, because you have not gotten the documents from the court. It's not your fault. So as we're going to, so now we filed the appeal because that was our own time bound. You have 60 days. If you don't file it within that time, they won't. Your case is finished. Many gets. So as we're filing now the application, tukaenda tukafungua CTS system, we saw 18. I don't know if you've seen the interface of the CTS system. I'll open it and show it to you. Tuliona 18 fields of documents that were there, all uploaded at the same time, and none of them are ours. So we wrote I told my dad, Zimi, I'm not filing. He said, what do you mean? I said, I was getting messages. We didn't understand who the messages are from. The judiciary were trying to convince us we're the ones who have put in those messages, and that's CCC. So then at the same time, luckily, I had written to the IT department. Nilikuwa nataka nibadilishe password. IT department wakanitumia brand new password. So nikawauliza, are you telling me your user interface, you guys can reset my password without my knowledge? They said yes. So I said, so those documents that defendant that we found mapped in Ahmed's case, so ni mtu wenu mmemweka. Yeah? This issue of how we have found other documents in the system, it's somebody on the inside doing
Sana,
that.
she's good.
Yeah?
She's good.
So as much as we think we are progressing with our democracy, why are these things not being talked about? You know, why is the judiciary not dealing with this issue? It's been almost a year now since we have complained. No, we complained in October last year. They have not done anything. Why? We still cannot file our application to get orders because they're telling us to delete. I said, why would I delete evidence on your system? I said, I want to know who put that evidence because it is my right to access justice. If somebody is interfering with that right, are they going to be prosecuted? Because I want to see them prosecuted. So you find it's a well-coordinated activity. I personally believe that there's a cartel. I think there's a land grabbing and a financial cartel in the judiciary, in that it works with people in the lands office, it works with policemen, and it works with judges and lawyers. That's what I believe. Because they are too organized, they're in every office of accountability, because unadhani one complaint will go somewhere. Haendi. So who is this justice system serving? So it's like we give them this opportunity to be impune and they have done it. And they are more dangerous because they can do these things without your knowledge and consent.
Damn.
Tukue sharp watu wangu.
Wow. I think when we always think about rotten
sharp.
arms, we think about the legislative and the executive.
Yeah.
Like to be this, because sasa inamaanisha anyone who has a land case and it's prime land cannot even trust their own lawyers.
You can forget even your lawyers. It could be in court and you don't know. Shamba yako sahi inaweza uzwa kotini. There's fake documents being created about ati somebody owes me ati you borrowed you borrowed a loan. They can create all fake documents with your own land and you can actually lose it and you would not be involved in that story. How? That's what shocks me. I said, in this day and age, how?
Yeah. Hata mimi I have this opinion because I said I was 50-50 leaning, and by the end of the video I tell you what my thought is. Obviously there is some information missing, but this is just a 41-minute video. Maybe she may get another option. Ama nimtafute nimuite tuongee naye pia. I can look for her because I'm telling you guys, hii Kenya ni kunoma. And she's very sharp. By the way, ako sharp and accurate, and she knows what she's doing, and to the point where ni amesema wacha ni mimi nitajifanyia kazi. It means that she has been disappointed and she has I will do that. Wacha nitamtafuta sasa. Wacha nitamtafuta. I find her I find her contacts and then we can speak. Because this is awesome. She's doing a good job. Tamtafuta. Can do a good podcast with her, atueleze hii story yote in more details and in another angle because wow. Hey, okay.
Wacha tumalize hapo.
Your story yako ni depressing and it's scary. It's really scary. And I'm not surprised with the characters. I always look at Ahmednasir. I always say, like, I looked at him aki-argue ile case ya IBC versus akina Raila, and he argued like the way I'd argue, and I've never been in I've never gone to the story. Huyo mtu upenda kucomplain. Wewe kwa nini unapenda kucomplain? That's not how a lawyer should argue.
No.
So I know that. Alafu I heard about the fake pupillage from Nelson Harvey. So najuaga hiyo side where he's not. But I thought that since he's an inside man and he knows the system, at least he wins for his clients. Najua. So I've always said that if I had a case, he'd be the guy that I'd go for, because as much as the system is rotten, he'd know how to kumbe. Damn.
Don't trust your lawyer. I will tell you that. I think even the first time I saw
lawyers... Don't trust anyone in Kenya. Don't trust anyone in Kenya. That's a fact. Today, Usiamini watu Kenya tuko wakora
was in
wengi sana.
Rigathe's case. I have just been witnessing nonsense for the last 6 years. And even this history ya Kenya vile Kenya Ruto walito kesi zao haziko criminal. I've understood also how the DPP works. It's the same thing. May I had a case where somebody assaulted me and they just mentioned the case for 5 years. I can show you. They just kept mentioning. When we tell them to summon the police, they don't summon the police. Why? Why is the ODPP and the judiciary refusing to summon the OCS of a police station if his police officer is refusing or withholding evidence? Why? You know? Wakacheza hiyo kitu and then they withdrew my case last year. And the prosecutor cited that CG public interest. I said, I am the one who got beaten up. I am the one who was in hospital. I am the one who has been showing up to court for the last 6 years. What's this thing called? The person who assaulted me hasn't shown up to court. I've been asking you to summon the police to arrest her. You decided that I am the one who doesn't deserve justice after 5 years. So said, I understand exactly how Kenya Ruto and all these other thugs in government. Yeah.
Mmesikia unaweza poteza kila kitu yako hivyo. People, inaitwa Kenya. We are living in the mercies of God. Tunaishi kwa mercies za Mungu. We have nisikujie. We are living in the mercies of God, literally. Wow, that's something.